Hi everyone, welcome to another Car Conversations with Fran and John, where we have authentic sharings and our conversations are unscripted. Well, if you notice today, somebody else is in the driving seat instead of me. Usually I'm the one who's driving, and right now we're actually on a Malaysian highway. We're actually on the North-South Highway. We just left Taiping, which is in Perak, and then now we are headed to Ipoh. Well, I thought this is a good opportunity to share with you what's all the ongoings on the road, especially when you intend to do road trips in Malaysia. And personally, as somebody who's driven all 11 states in West Malaysia, I really love the experience as a driver on the road, and I highly recommend that you try that as well, because well, it's just not the same experience if you are going to a foreign country and traveling, in a minibus or in a tour bus and just, looking out as a passenger. I would say the experience on a road trip is totally different. The manner of slow travel and, like for Fran, right, she's driving on the road, she get to experience a lot of things and like interaction with the locals, get to see the different scenery as a driver. And then of course the music will be playing, but right now it's off. So, for us, we have driven, combined, we have driven in quite a number of countries. Singapore, of course, that's where I'm from, and Fran has a license to drive there as well. And we've been to places like Australia. Fran has driven there. We both driven in France, in Monaco. Where else, Fran? Anywhere else?
I've driven US.
In US, she's driven US. In Thailand as well. You've seen some of our previous videos. So I actually especially like to highlight about Malaysian highways, because to me, having driven to a number of countries and also experiencing, as a passenger, I do notice that Malaysian highways are particularly well maintained. I would say they are actually world class, and just looking at the roads, right, they are always clear of debris, and you feel very safe actually driving in Malaysia. The lane markings are properly made, and all the dividers and barriers. If you've ever driven, in Malaysia, you would know that. Compared to some other countries, right, where you drive sometimes on the road where you go very fast, say about 100 kilometers per hour, 110 kilometers per hour, you don't exactly feel as safe because there's a lot of happenings. There's not clear demarcation of all the different lane markings and signboards and all that. Yeah, so another thing I love about Malaysia driving on the highways is the rest stops, of course, the food, the makan, maybe every 20-30 kilometers interval, you have a rest stop where you can either stop to go for your toilet break, or there's a rest stop with a lot of multiple restaurants, a lot of food stalls where you can really enjoy, a slow road trip kind of travel. Whereas I think probably other, countries, either you don't have so many rest stops in between, or you probably don't get to experience, so many stops in between because the distance is just too much. As well as petrol kiosks, okay? There's a lot of petrol kiosks in Malaysia, so you don't have to worry about running out of petrol.
There's one time in the US, I was traveling around, I think it was I-95, and our car was running low on fuel, and it was a very scary experience because there was no petrol station for miles and miles, and the red light was already blinking. But you have no fear of that in Malaysia because, like John said, there's a petrol station or many petrol stations along the entire highway. So rest assured, you can get your EV car charged up, and you also get your petrol filled up. No worries at all.
Yeah, there are a lot more EV stations now coming out in Malaysia. So in time to come, I would say for an EV driver, the experience will be great as well. So I just like to share that, in Malaysia, right, when you travel, there's so many little towns, there's so many hidden gems, and you can experience that by not just traveling on the highways. When you get from state to state, town to town, there are not only these main highways that you drive on, which of course the speed limit is higher. You can also go to all the trunk roads. Usually the trunk roads are marked in blue signboards, whereas the main highways are in green. So that is one of the things that you can observe as you drive as a driver. And it's not just the North Side Highway that that cuts from the north to the south of Peninsula Malaysia. You also have, for example, the West Coast Highway, which opened recently, and also like when we went to the east coast side of Peninsula Malaysia, Kelantan, Terengganu, Pahang, we took the coastal roads, right? So you don't necessarily need to just be on the highway where you can see a lot of greenery, then you can see a lot of oil palm plantations, you can see animals. You also can experience the seaside if you go to the beach locations, and you go to the smaller towns. Oh yeah, Penang Bridge, of course. And then the smaller towns, right, you can always stop by, buy makan, or you can buy all the snacks. So I think that is the whole allure of the whole experience of driving on the road in Malaysia that I would really like to share with you.
Yeah, and the rest stops are really very well equipped. Like the toilets are, there's toilet paper, the toilet itself is clean, and then the rest stops itself, right, for the food is actually really very good. Some rest stops, you might think that the quality of food is subpar, but no, the local Malay cuisine in all the rest stops is really good, and there's actually a lot of fast food joints as well along the rest stops. Whatever you want, you name it. You've got your Burger King, McDonald's,
A&W, yep.
A&W, KFC. So there's a lot of choices, and they sell a lot of fruits. And it's very interesting. This is what I noticed. The different states, the rest stops will have different types of fruits, which are more or less unique to that state, right? So you can actually get to try different fruits from the different states in the different rest stops.
Yeah, so guys, I highly encourage you to drive in Malaysia, and the whole idea of taking a road trip, right? That means renting a car if let's say it's a foreign country for you, and doing the slow travel is really a great way for you to experience the atmosphere. Like right now we are looking into the mountains, into the hills, and we see a lot of oil palm plantations, right? That kind of experience where that this is the flavor of the country, and definitely it's in our plans to do this kind of slow travel and road trips in other countries as well, like New Zealand, Australia I haven't driven, Fran has driven, Japan, these are some of the Asia, Oceania, Canada is one that we really want to do, like like a camper van or an RV experience, or in US, of course, US is so big, right? And Europe, we have driven in Europe, but not in all the countries, of course. So one of the things I really like to encourage you, rather than sometimes, when we are traveling, I know we have very little time, especially, if you're working full time and you want to go for the maximum, efficiency for your itinerary, right? You go to the city, you pump, you go location A, location B, location C. Sometimes you forget about experiencing some of the smaller towns where it's not so touristy, and that is where the true flavor of that country lies. Let's say you go to Italy, right? You don't want to go to just Rome, Florence, you want to go to maybe Sardinia, maybe you want to go to Capri. Okay, Capri is more seaside, right? So some of the towns there's maybe, that you can get to via renting a car and getting there. I would say the experience is totally different, right?
And you'll discover hidden gems.
Yeah.
Confirm.
So that's all for us for today's car conversation. I hope this little insight to traveling on the road, and getting you to try something different. Maybe you're somebody that has always been chauffeured around. Try that new experience, and you never know. Otherwise, we are signing off. Thank you for staying with us on this video, and please like this video and subscribe to join our YouTube channel, and I will see you in the next video. Bye bye.